Dear Church, this November, our theme is cultivating love through community. I can't think of a time when we've needed it more than right now, at the end of perhaps the most divisive election season in several generations. I would imagine that many of you, like me, are exhausted. The hyperbole and vitriol have become overwhelming, and you're not sure you can stomach one more instance of your beliefs and principles being misrepresented and thrown in your face as proof that you are an enemy to be opposed at all costs. You, like me, are ready for it all to be over. And that's an understandable and legitimate place to be, but soon we'll have to answer another question. How do we cultivate love in communities that have been fractured and traumatized by this toxic, antagonistic election season? As the political rhetoric has become more and more heated in recent years, I've often been reminded of Paul's admonition to the church in Galatia. If, however, you bite and devour one another, take care that you are not consumed by one another. We are a people genuinely at risk of devouring one another in the pursuit of political dominance. We've abandoned the difficult work of moral deliberation in favor of the easier path of political absolutism. We, like the Galatians, have used our freedom as an opportunity for self-indulgence, forgetting the fundamental truth with which Paul and Jesus both taught from the oldest scriptures they knew. The whole law is summed up in a single commandment: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Church, we committed ourselves to this work over 30 years ago. The ELCA's first social statement, Church in Society, a Lutheran Perspective, makes it very clear that God is calling us to be a force for good and justice in God's world. The statement reads, in part, in witnessing to Jesus Christ, the Church announces that the God who justifies expects all people to do justice. God's good and just demands address people in the obligations of their relationships and the challenges of the world. God works through the family, education, the economy, the state, and other structures necessary for life in the present age. This church respects the God-given integrity and tasks of governing authorities and other worldly structures while holding them accountable to God. Church, now is the time to cultivate love through community and to understand that community is every last one of our neighbors, wherever and however we encounter them. Now is the time to become servants of one another through love. Now is the time to speak the truth instead of repeating lies. Now is the time to stop the spread of hatred and scapegoating. Now is the time to calmly and courageously respond to slander and aggression with the truth and in dignity. We have a lot of work ahead of us, dear church. My prayer is that you will begin that work today, right now, with the people around you at this very instant. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, that is the community that God has entrusted to you. Let's get to work cultivating love through these communities, and let's see what kind of impact we can make in this world we call home.